Hi, thank you for watching our Marley's Mutts foster orientation video. Marley's Mutts is primarily a foster-based network. It's really important to us that all of our fosters are given the proper education and information regarding our fosters. So I just want to introduce our foster coordinator, who's probably the one that you'll be reaching out to first. This is Shannon Barger. And our adoptions foster coordinator, this is Shannon Paris, camper. I am Lucy Anderson. I'm a foster and volunteer trainer. And this is our head trainer, Robert Villaneda.
Robert Villaneda.
What he said. So just to get us started, we're gonna actually step out. Some of us will step out, and we're gonna start off with just kind of what it means to bring in your dog and do the intake of it.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm a foster coordinator assistant, and we are going to go over kind of what we expect from our fosters and what our fosters can also expect. Thank you for reaching out to us and showing interest in fostering for us.
Basically, the expectation of foster parents, we crate train every dog that we take in just for potty training, safety purposes, and sometimes illness. We'll also go over introducing dogs, new dogs to our pack of dogs, and vice versa. We also have a no dog park rule because dogs, especially fosters, a lot of times they'll come in sick with other issues, and they can pick up kennel cough, worms, giardia, and stuff like that from dog parks. And sometimes dog fights can happen, so we try to avoid them altogether. We also require that all dogs are on a leash at all times in public areas, anywhere outside of your home, so they don't run off, get lost, or anything like that. We also cover all vet appointments for the dogs, which is spay and neuter, all their shots, and anything else that might happen to pop up.
If you live outside the Kern County, Bakersfield, Tehachapi area, then please let us know so that we can set up a vet in your local area and we can get all of that started for you. We also, anytime you pick up a dog from us, we will supply you with all of the crate, food, bedding, any supplies that they need, leashes, etc., along with an adoption packet with contact information in it.
We also ask that all of your current pets, cats and dogs, be up to date on their vaccinations with your vet, just so that way they don't end up getting sick from a foster being brought into your home. And we also have a rule that you cannot foster for more than one organization at a time. A lot of people will foster for 2 or 3 different rescue groups, which is great. They save tons of lives, but just in case a foster from our organization and another foster come in contact, they might get each other sick. So, which can, obviously increase vet bills for our organization or another organization. So it's one rescue at a time.
Part of getting started with fostering is sending us photos of your home so that we can look over everything, make sure everything is, your fence is secure, everything like that, and also of your personal pets. We also have a foster Facebook page that we will send you a link to join, and that is our main source of communication. We also do, phone calls, of course, texting, stuff like that, but all of our fosters are on that Facebook page, so you are able to use that page, ask any questions that you have, post updates and pictures of your foster. A lot of those pictures and updates that are put on the foster page are also used for our Marley's Mutts Dog Rescue official website. So we ask that you send updates on a regular basis so that everyone knows what's going on with your foster.
We do ask about 2 times a week if you can. Videos are always good, pictures of them doing something cute, or updates on medical process, where they are with anything that's going on with them. Just so we can, make sure that they get adopted and we can get our followers an update on the dog that they just saw.
Most of our dogs come from high kill shelters. Most of them are in the Kern County area. We do pull dogs from surrounding areas as well. A lot of times the way that we get the dogs is we will either do shelter runs where you can ask to request a certain type of dog or size, breed, gender of dog, and we can pull that dog for you, and you can meet us to pick up the dog after the shelter run. or if you are available, you are also welcome to go with us to the shelter to pull that dog and choose the dog that you would like to foster. We do our best to make sure that the dogs don't have any, maybe dog aggression issues and things like that, but it's never 100%, so we do have trainers that are available to help you with any issues that may arise when you get your foster dog home.
And we do try to temperament test every dog that we pull to make sure that there's no underlying issues. But it's not 100%, so sometimes things can arise, but we do have 2 awesome trainers here that you can contact anytime for help. So there's always support.
We also have, all of our supplies are in storage units. We have a storage unit here in Bakersfield, which we will give you that information at a later time. And then we also have a storage unit, or pickup area in Tehachapi at the Marley's Mutts Dog Rescue Ranch. So we have a couple areas where you can get supplies.
As far as when we take the dogs in, once they're into our home, we like to get their photographs done. We call them glamour shots because it shows off the best side of the dog. And we use that for their adoption application on our website. And we link our Facebook page and Instagram pages to that so people can apply to adopt the dog. We try to do that as soon as we possibly can, just so we start drumming up interest. Even if it takes a little while medically for some dogs to be able to be adopted, but we'd like to make sure that we can get as many great adopters as possible to make sure that we get the right choice for each dog once they're adopted out. We do have a local photographer here in Bakersfield. We have a couple of them in Tehachapi that we can use. Outside of Kern County, we're working on that. A lot of times, a lot of fosters will do really great photos with their own phones. Some people just don't like doing that, but I mean, it's kind of a case-by-case basis for each one of those. But we do have some wonderful photographers that we use to make the dogs look beautiful. That's always a plus. We also have a biography that each foster will fill out within about a week and a half's time frame. That they can fill out about their dog's personality, likes, dislikes, what type of home that they would do best in, whether they're great with kids or not great with kids, or if they're shy, if they're fearful, if they're outgoing and spunky, that type of stuff that we use as descriptors to write up the bio for the dog, so that way we make sure that we find the right adopters for them. We also have different types of fostering. We have a short-term fostering group called the Mutt Movers, and what they do is they take dogs directly from high-kill shelters with all their vet work done, spay and neuter, shots, microchip, and everything. Typically, the dogs can stay from a week to up to 3 weeks, and they get shipped out to other no-kill shelters. What we do here is regular fostering. The dogs don't go to other rescues. They stay with us until adoption. So sometimes that can vary from a couple of weeks to a couple months, depending on what is going on with the dog. Typically, medical cases, they won't be going too soon. It might be about 2 months before they get adopted out sometimes.
And puppies as well. Sometimes we'll get litters of puppies or young puppies. And we usually, if they come with their mother, they stay with their mom till they're 8 weeks old. After 8 weeks, they are split from their mom to wean. And we usually try and keep small litters of puppies together. Large litters, maybe six or more, we might split up into smaller groups so they're more manageable. We do have some fosters that prefer to only foster bottle-fed babies or puppies. Some like senior dogs. Everyone kind of has their own preference. So we are definitely open to whatever your preference might be. The thing with Marley's Mutts is we can only help save as many dogs as we have fosters for, and that's why we are always in need of great fosters.
Especially for big dogs. If you love big dogs and working with big dogs, we need you.
And the pitties. We love the
Yes,
pitties, and
exactly.
a lot of people feel that they can't handle a pit, but they are huge love bugs. I have one.
And we also have a prison program called the Positive Change Prison Program that we do foster for. That typically is a short-term program. We have the dogs for 3 weeks, get all the vet work done, do pictures and a bio before they go into the prison program. And that's typically a 14-week prison program. And we currently have 4 different prisons that we're involved with right now. And once the dogs come out, our main goal is to make sure that they have a doctor that day that they graduate from the program. If not, sometimes the dogs will go back into the former foster's home until the graduation can be complete, or the adoption can be completed. Let's see, what else do we have?
Young puppies need their first set of shots at 8 weeks old and dewormed. Their second set of shots is usually around 11 weeks old. and then they are spayed and neutered at 12 weeks old, and they are adoption ready. None of our dogs can leave our foster homes without being spayed and neutered. A lot of our dogs, if they are teen to an adult dog, they can be spayed and neutered right away unless there's medical issues. So usually they get one round of shots and then are spayed and neutered, and they can also have their biography and their pictures taken right away. So we can start screening adopters for you. MarleysMutts screens all the adopters. So all of the dogs, they fill out an application online that comes to Shannon.
Yep.
And she looks it over, does kind of a home check, reaches out to the person, and then after that, she will pass the application on to you after they are approved. And you make contact with the potential adopter and screen them, ask them questions, any concerns. Be very truthful. If there's issues with the dogs, don't try and cover that up. We want the adopters to know exactly what the issues may or may not be.
And typically, if there is an issue with a dog, say that they're shy or fearful, or they're, just overwhelming to other dogs or anything like that, we check it with our foster trainers to make sure that this application might be a good fit for the dog. If we don't initially think it's a good fit, we're not gonna go with them. We're looking for specific adopters for some dogs, and we try to make sure that we target those type of people for that. So we do everything that we can to make sure that we get the right adopters. And if a foster thinks that the person that they're talking to on the phone that wants to adopt the dog isn't the right match, we go with your gut instinct on a lot of them, because the fosters know their dog better than any of the rest of us do. They live with them every day. They know their quirks, their spunkiness, their whole temperament way better than anybody else does. So that's what we look for, is the right home for the right dog.
And if you meet someone out and about with your dog and they're interested in adopting your dog, then you can definitely ask them to fill out an adoption application online. We'll still go through the screening process and everything, but we absolutely ask that you try and market your dog as well. We just want to find the best homes for each of the dogs. We also have foster dog adoption events. We have those about once a month right now.
2 times a month. We do local PetSmart here in Bakersfield, in the northwest side of town, and it will continue into next year as well. We try to have as many as possible, so that way we can get as many dogs adopted out as possible. The more dogs we can take in and out of foster homes, and the more foster homes we have, the more dogs that we can save from high kill shelters, which that is our goal, is to save as many dogs as possible. Typically at an adoption event, you are not required to stay. You can drop the dog off. You bring them with their crate, their adoption bag, and pick them up once we're done. So from there, you can stay, you can hang out, talk to people about your foster dog. We put little Adopt Me bandanas on them. We wear our I Foster shirts or a MarleysMutts shirt, just so people know who we are.
It's a lot of fun. We all kind of get to know each other and hang out, and the dogs have fun, get to cuddle cute puppies, and just kind of hang out. So this is our foster bag here. It'll come in either a bag like this, or we have
A green one.
a green one as well. Here's our adoption contract. For your foster dogs, sometimes the dogs are adopted from our houses. You can also set it up at a park to meet with a potential adopter, or you can also at an adoption event. There is a contract in here that has a yellow side as well, so the adopter would fill that out. And our fee right now is currently $250. Sometimes that can be negotiable. Either way. And then we have some contact information. We have some information on bringing your new adopted dog home. And this is for the potential adopter to take with them, so that if they have any issues, they can reach out to the different trainers and read the different information. On our foster contract or our adoption contract, one of the big things is that we do not want our dogs to end up back in the shelter. And so we ask that for some reason, if it doesn't work out, we ask that the dogs are returned back to Marleysmutts, but the adopters have to give us a chance to find a foster for them, because we are foster based.
And this side of the folder is for the adopters, so you're gonna put all the medical records, their rabies shot information, anything that was done, if they were treated for kennel cough, and their microchip information right here too. This other side is for us fosters, Anything in green is for us fosters. And it has our number, like my number on here for any foster adoptions, questions, issues. It's got Lucy's number, Robert's number. We also have the lady who inputs all of our shot records into our shelter manager management system. Her name is Jackie Pata. Her phone number and her email's on there. So you just scan or send a picture of the shot record to her and she'll update it. We also have a couple of people to contact for supplies, either in Bakersfield or Tehachapi. And as we expand out into the LA area, we'll get more people together to where you can pick up supplies from us. There's also a report card on your dog. And we also have a pre-authorization for veterinary care. Right now, this one is just for Bakersfield. It will be signed by myself, and it says which shots and everything else are due. You just put your name and the name of the dog on there, and you can go to one of the 3 veterinary clinics that we have currently. And then the last one is a report card on the dog. This one really matters a lot, just because if you happen to go on vacation and you need to drop the dog off with another foster, that way then the other foster knows, some tips and tricks on the dog. If the dog is slightly food aggressive, you want to, feed them separately. How are they on crate training and house training, and what's been done? Are they good with cats? Are they good with dogs? That's all pertinent information as far as what's going on with the dog. So that way there's no surprises, and you can also leave that for the potential adopter too. So they know what the dog was working on. Are they good in a crate? Are they potty trained? Do they like cats, kids, other dogs? That's really great information for the adopter to have. So we try to send as much information with the adopter as we can. So there's no surprises when they get a dog.
Shannon also mentioned vacations. Sometimes we have fosters and we all have lives outside of fostering. So if something should come up and you have a trip planned, we have our MarleysMutts rescue foster page, and you can go on there and try in advance to put it on there and put a picture of your foster dog and say, this is Burke. He's a cute little 6-month-old pup. I'm gonna be out of town from this date to this date. Can someone please watch him for those days? And a lot of times one of our other fosters will volunteer to watch the dog during that time. If not, then we can also make some other arrangements. But just let us know ahead of time if you have vacation plans or anything like that. And then when you get back, you can go and pick up the dog and resume fostering it. So we do work with each other's schedules and stuff like that.
We have a really good foster team on our Facebook page that's there all the time. We're also getting more people together to do transport for vet trips, glamour shots, trips to adoption events. A lot of people are busy on Saturdays. It's usually their day off and they've got stuff with kids or just taking a day off, and they can't transport their foster dog to our adoption events. So you just reach out to me and let me know if you need help with travel arrangements and everything else. So anytime you need help with anything, for dog going to the vet, getting glamour shots done, just let me know and I'll get that transportation arranged for you.
I guess that's probably answered most of your questions, hopefully, on fostering. We are going to go ahead and let the trainers take over. They are going to talk a little bit about introducing dogs, crate training, and some of the tools that we use. So thank you for
Listening to us.
yeah, thank you for showing interest in fostering.
Yes, and welcome to the team. All right.
I'm Robert, the head trainer for MarleysMutts, and here we have,
Lucy, I'm a volunteer trainer for MarleysMutts.
and today we're going to be talking about some of the things that you need to know for fostering your dog. Some of the main things that we're going to be covering are slip lead work and walking your dog. We're going to be covering crate training. We're going to be covering dog intros, and we're going to be talking about feeding your dog. So these are some of the basic things that we want you to take from us. And maybe you might have some questions, and if you have questions, you can always feel free to contact us. But yeah, these are the main things. Right now, we're going to be covering some crate training covered by Lucy. I'll go ahead and step out and hand it over to you.
Alrighty. So here we have Goldie. Goldie is my foster dog, so she knows a little bit more about crate training because I've been working with her for the last 3 months with it. So and not only that, but she really enjoys her crate, and that's where she would prefer to be. So, let me just grab my leash real quick. And let me pull her up here so that you guys can see a little bit better. So, it's really important that the energy that comes out of a crate is what's ultimately going to be in the environment that you bring out. So Goldie is very insecure and timid because she was hit by a car and hasn't had much social outings. But I thought this would be good for her since she's healing, and it's good exposure for her. So whenever because the door opens on this side, I want to make sure that she can't just bolt out of it. Sometimes she likes to do that. So a lot of times, the handles are the most exciting thing for a dog. It's because they know that that means that they're going to be getting out of the crate. So I spent some time just opening the crate and jiggling them. Unfortunately, for the sake of the video, she's not going to be super rambunctious. So I'll be able just to open this and reach in and put her leash on her. And because she automatically wants to come out, and she's pretty calm about it, I'm gonna go ahead and ask this energy to come out. So I'm just gonna give her a little tug on the leash and ask her to come out. Good girl. So, and as you can see, she's very insecure, just wants to go right back in. So I'm gonna go ahead and move her forward a little bit, and I'm gonna reintroduce her back to the crate. And my word at home that I'm consistent about using is load. A lot of people have kennel, a specific word that you use, but ultimately you just want to show them where to go. Sometimes they need a little encouragement, so you kind of got to pick them up by the derriere and wheelbarrow them in. The best thing to do is actually to get their nose involved in it, because dogs live nose, eyes, ears, and their nose should always be moving. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll actually just grab some treats and toss them in, and as soon as the dog goes in, then I'll go ahead and just close the door. I won't necessarily lock them in there because then I'm trapping them. So it's important that once the dog goes in, that he understands that he's not just going to be trapped in there in that crazy excited state of mind. So it's going to take a lot of patience, and sometimes you just need to play games on your phone while the dog decides to calm down. But the most important thing to do is just be patient. And if you start to feel yourself get frustrated or irritated, that's going to be passed on to the dog. So it's really important to always stay in a calm state of mind, because that's what your dog is going to be reflected back at. So there's lots of different dogs, and every dog is different. So sometimes crate training is super easy, and sometimes it's not so easy. So if you guys need help with any type of crate training because you're not comfortable with how to use this tool, then reach out to us trainers, and we'd love to help you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Robert so that he can show you guys a little bit more about slip leads.
Alright guys, so we're going to be covering some more things as far as slip lead work. We're going to be doing some slip lead work, and I'm going to talk a little bit about energy, talk about rules, boundaries on your dogs. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and take Smokey out. So what I'm going to do also, you see Lucy just covered crates. This is a boundary that I'm asking, just not so fast. We want to slow them down. And we're going to be inviting them out. So he gets out. And about crates, one of the other boundaries I'd like to cover right now is, I know we all want our dogs to sleep with us on the bed. And I think that's an important boundary to set for your dog from the beginning. Your dogs sleep in a crate. That's their own little den area. It's a healthy rule that we give fosters, and I even do it myself. I have my dogs, their own little personal space, their crate, they're all set up, they're comfortable and everything. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that real quick. And what we're going to be covering is slip lead work. What I'm doing here, this is our slip lead. You can see it's something, it's just a simple slip leash that you can have at that you can buy at a store, a pet store. It's pretty easy. What's up, Smoke?
I'm naked.
Yeah, a little edge on his back. But, Smoke. Hey. Come here, bud. When we do slip lead work, come here, Smoke. We always want to associate the slip lead as being positive. Come here, bud. So what I'll do is when I introduce a slip lead to a dog, it's a little itchy right now, so. When I introduce a slip lead to a dog, what I want to do is I want to make it a positive experience. Smoke. Come here, bud. Thank you. When we put it on him, it's something that maybe some dogs are a little uncomfortable with a slip lead. He's already been on a slip lead for the past few months, and this is one of the tools that we give you as part of the package. What I'll cover right now is placement of a slip leash, because everybody, I know, all dogs need their exercise, they need their fulfillment, and they need their walks. So we use their walks as fulfilling them. There's 3 different parts of the neck. There's the lower part, that's where harnesses usually sit, where dog likes to pull. There's the middle part, where you might hear your dog choke a little bit. That's not where we want to slip lead. And there's the top part, right? That's the most sensitive part, right under the jaw, right in the back of the ears. What that does with a dog, it's the most sensitive part of their neck, and it's the easiest to control a dog. So even if I have a 150-pound dog, I'll put a slip lead at the top of his neck, and just basic things, pull up a little bit. You can see how his butt just goes down. These are things that he's already practiced. And if you want to control a certain dog, that's what we want. We want to create sensitivity in a dog, because if a dog's not used to being on a slip lead, and we start showing them how to be sensitive, he's going to be more in tune to you. And it's going to actually make the walk a lot more enjoyable. And as far as slip lead, you can see Smokey's being a good boy right now, and just checking in with me. And if I do my walks, I want to walk comfortable. I want to walk like if I'm just walking normal with my arms swinging. So there's a way I'll hold the leash, and you can see I don't have a whole lot of slack on that slip lead from where my fingers are to the back of his neck. And that's what I want. I want a nice, short, but loose slip lead while you're doing a walk. So if I'm walking, as you can see, my arms are walking in place. They're just swinging free, and it's natural. What I see a lot of the times is if a dog's pulling, a person, what they want to do is they want to start wrapping the leash around their hand. And you can see, if I walk like this, is this so natural? No. We want to create sensitivity. We want to show softness to a dog. And some dogs are going to be a little more difficult to walk than others. And if you're having issues walking a dog, you can always give me a call or shoot me an email, and then we can go ahead and help you out with that. So that's the simple things about the slip lead. Another thing I want to cover is energy. As you can notice, I want to stay calm. I want to keep control of the situation. I want to be confident, because what dogs sense is energy. When they read another dog, when they read a person, they're always checking in and seeing what that person's energy is. So I always have to check in with myself. I have to check in and see what my energy is. Because if I'm nervous, or if I'm frustrated, or if I'm angry, then the dog's going to pick that up, and he's going to be able to reflect it maybe. He's going to be able to these are some of the energy, some of the emotions that they're not used to. So the key to working with a dog, to going on a walk, to just even introducing a crate is energy. And what energy is what your emotions are and what your intentions are. So how do you feel, what do you want? Emotions plus intentions. And we always have to check in with ourselves because our dog's checking with us. So emotions, calm. Intentions, I gotta be confident in what I'm asking. So whether I'm asking them to go in the crate, if I'm asking them to sit here, I'm setting an intention, let's just practice self-control and be right here. Because if I go to this, on a walk and he sees a rabbit or he sees a squirrel or he sees something that he wants to chase, I'll just pull up on the leash, correct him a little bit, and ask for this. He's practicing it right now. It means it's gonna be easier for him to get it when we're on the street in a higher distraction area. So that was slip leash. I'll get him back into his kennel. Kennel. Good boy. All right.
So in this little portion, we're gonna show you about feeding your dog. It is really important from a pack mentality that you do not free feed your dog. And by free feed, I mean leaving bowls of food out for them to eat at their leisure. Because ultimately what that's doing is taking away your pack mentality from your dogs. Pack leaders go out, they hunt food, and they bring it back to the peons. So in other words, you guys have stocked them for life. So you kind of lose your importance. A lot of times, dogs are super food motivated, and so it's really important to just slow them down to make sure, obviously, Smokey has gone through the prison program, and he is very aware of how to do this. And he does some pretty cool tricks, huh? Do you sit pretty? What is it? Sit pretty? Sit pretty? Oh, what a good boy. Huh. So, you want to make sure that, one, the dog checks in with you before you actually place the food down. And when I place the food down, that's really adorable, Smokey. So I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to ask him to wait. Wait for him to check in. Good boy. And then I'm going to allow him to eat. So by holding it up and asking for the space, that's him being respectful. And by putting it down in between my legs, it is me claiming the bowl, stating that this is my food, and then telling him, okay, you now have permission to eat your food. So it really just slows their whole brain down, gives them an opportunity to focus in more with you than it is with the food. Because food is super motivating, and we're just using the food as a tool to help bond you and your foster dog, or your personal dog if that's whoever. So one last pointer for food is make sure that when you're feeding multiple dogs that you don't feed them within eyesight of each other. I always try to put dogs catty corner, like one corner, one corner, one corner, or feeding them in their crate is also another good idea. Just make sure that you have plenty of boundaries whenever it comes to food.
Hi, thank you very much for joining us and watching the whole video on everything that we do. Thank you so much for volunteering your time with us to take in dogs and saving their lives.
We hope that we've answered most of your questions that you've had about fostering, and then we hope that you are excited about fostering. We have a very fun, supportive group of fosters and trainers, and we just have a great time. So these are some of our current fosters that we have here. So we hope that
We answered everything for you. We're always here to help and support you at any time during the journey of fostering dogs. So don't hesitate to reach out to us anytime you have a question, from anything teeny tiny, what does this look like? Does this look normal to you? To I really need some help with training. So anytime, don't hesitate.
Yes, MarleysMutts is an organization that is full of lots of resources. They're very supportive, and you're going to meet a lot of wonderful people. You're going to fall in love with lots of dogs and get them into forever homes And making no-kill Kern County a huge priority is what fostering is all about. So we really look forward to getting some of your applications and meeting you soon.
Each of us started out with fostering, and it's become a major part of our lives, and we hope that you enjoy it as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.